Hey everybody, it's your boy Serg Dragon. Welcome back to another edition of the Heavens Monsters podcast. With me today is T-Money.
If you smell what the lion is cooking.
And Mike Henry. Oh, hold up, Mikey. Okay, go ahead.
If you're ready for another episode of the Heavens Monsters podcast, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
If you're ready for another episode of the Heavens Monsters podcast, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
No.
And of course, Chris Petrie.
Too sweet.
Yeah, buddy. So today we are going to cover June 5th on Smackdown and 205 Live. We're going to do a speed run because we are on the clock. We got to get home because I got a morning shift and he's got his ride. Ain't going to wait for him for too long. So let's go ahead and shout out to what started off the show.
Otis versus King Corbin in
a regular match.
In a DQ match.
No, he won he lost by disqualification.
Okay,
I know, I'm about to say too. I'm looking at that like, no. During the beginning of the show, we would actually get thrown back to Jeff Hardy and what happened to him and Elias. Courtesy of the fact that Elias is in fact injured, not due to the wreck stage performed, but he's actually in fact injured and he will be on the show for a little bit. Jeff Hardy, on the other hand, is opening the show with, of course, the fact that he's mentioning what have happened, what happened again. What he remembers, and knowing that a lot of people are pointing at Sheamus or description of Sheamus, red hair, red beard, walking away from the car. Sheamus then comes out, of course, to publicly tell him that he's better just own up to his mistakes, trying to throw it off and just point at him, saying that his wife and his children are ashamed of him. Or they're used to him.
Because he's saying, basically saying that he's bringing up Jeff Hardy's past mistakes.
Jeff Hardy assaults him only for another to dodge and weave until finally the bro kick landed in Jeff Hardy's face, leaving him laid out. Then we have backstage Otis, which is the first match of the night, taking King Corbin's crown and walking into the ring with the crown, the girl, and the Money in the Bank briefcase. King Corbin is upset and wants to jump Otis right away, but because of the fact that Otis was on the offensive the entire time of this match, and King Corbin only had so many times, we haven't seen anybody spinebuster. Spinebuster? Yeah. Otis in a long time, if not ever, have we? King Corbin, with his size, was able to do that. But that didn't slow down Otis one bit. He came right at him with a chair and got himself disqualified. The winner, Otis, and still coming at him. He didn't even hit him with the modified caterpillar, the worm.
Yeah, but you understand.
He got running. He just running.
None of the wrestlers had that kind of move, bro.
What?
Spine buster.
Of course.
Only wrestlers you know that had that move was Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, and Trish Stratus.
Booker T.
Yeah, Booker T. And Lita.
Robert Roode.
Yeah, Robert Roode.
You said Batista, so I'm just going by that.
Yeah, Batista.
Bobby Lashley. He uses it.
Well, not all his matches. So he mostly uses
it. Yeah. That's what I said. Including King Corbin. He doesn't use that move all the time either. Right, Chris?
Right.
The King Corbin using the Spinebuster. He doesn't use it all the time.
No, he doesn't.
That's what I figured. So what are your thoughts on that, Chris? On Otis getting both Jeff Hardy and Otis ultimately getting jumped.
It sucks.
Which one you hate more? Jeff Hardy getting jumped or Otis getting chaired?
It sucks that Jeff Hardy getting jumped by Sheamus.
Mm-hmm. You, Mikey?
Otis getting chaired by that jackass Corbin.
He still got the girl, though. Otis still got the girl. Yeah.
Xavier, 1, 2, 3.
Mandy. There you go. Okay. Next on the list.
Lacey Evans versus Sonya Deville.
With Sonya Deville taking on Lacey Evans once again, this time the match would be interfered by on the Grand Monitor.
Mm-hmm. Titantron.
The Titantron. Thank you, Mikey. Would have Mandy right there talking smack and distracting her from getting hit by the woman's right from Lacey Evans, giving her the win, and Sonya Deville is livid.
Because and this is her first win. Her first win.
Lacey Evans?
Yeah, because
in a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, because Mr. Man lost high hopes for her for losing all her matches. Just like MVP.
And we're gonna move on from that into
Drew Gulak versus AJ Styles.
This would be a interview between the finalists, AJ Styles, who was looking for a free pass into the finals, while Daniel Bryan was a fighting champion. The ideals of what a true champion and how a champion should present their titles clash. Ultimately, AJ Styles would look to give a, as he says, handout, aka to Daniel Bryan's friend, who was given multiple opportunities and failed. Drew Gulak would get an ass whooping prior to the words of AJ Styles. Yo boy, Chris Petrie. Yo boy, AJ Styles. And you know how that ended with Drew Gulak on the offensive because AJ Styles high-flying, striking moves. He actually rolled him up at the last second and get the 3 count, and AJ Styles is in complete disbelief. He's like, that don't count. That don't count. And Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak are there saying, yes, yes. And we have Michael Cole and Corey Graves saying, is this a predicament as to what is going to happen for the Intercontinental Championship between AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan? Your thoughts, Chris?
No comment.
How about you, Mikey?
Drew Gulak with the biggest upset of his career.
Oh, yeah. Multi-time WWE champion, AJ Styles. You got to win on him. Your thoughts, T-Money?
This is alright.
Next. 8 minutes in.
I'm not gonna pick on that match because I don't really that match is kind of boring, honestly. Because AJ Styles fighting someone that's not in his league. Okay. The New Day and Shorty G versus Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, and Mojo OReilly.
Surprise, surprise, Mojo OReilly has been drafted to Smackdown. Or at least I think he is. Because he's showing up on Smackdown more often before this every 4 times a year thing.
Well, actually, he's not drafted. I know you're from, but he was invited.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Because he shows up on SmackDown more than he does on Raw. You notice that, right?
Because, they don't have Raw doesn't have anything for him to rep the match, for him to compete. So SmackDown thought they has something for him to compete.
Definitely mention his Gronkowski?
Yeah, Rob
Gronkowski losing the 24/7 championship to R-Truth. And he's actually trying to make a name for himself by going up against Shorty G, who he's just simply mocking once again.
And plus, I know y'all want to see Rob Gronkowski no more. He's parted ways with the company.
Yep. Although he said that he was hoping to see Rob again.
Yeah, but
so I don't know.
That's not going to happen because Rob has a busy schedule.
In which case, it became a 3-on-1 with Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura and Mojo OReilly jumping Shorty G. And to come to the rescue is the New Day. If I'm correct. Yeah, they're the current WWE Smackdown champions, right?
The New Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I haven't seen a title defense in a while from them. That sucks.
You probably will see something in probably Backlash.
We haven't heard anything yet.
Well, I'll say they probably make this announcement this week.
Against the Forgotten Sons? Because we only hear promos of them too.
Probably.
So with that in mind, the New Day team up with Shorty G to take on Mojo OReilly, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Ultimately, it would be Shorty G who once again gets a pinfall on somebody, and surprise, surprise, they're not happy. That is me being sarcastic. New Day gets the win, mainly because Big E tapped in and got the drop on, I believe it was Mojo OReilly or Cesaro. No, it was Mojo. And then they get the big ending and the pin because Shorty G had both Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura's backs and legs held for they not to get into the ring. That was good on Shorty G. He had two men held back.
You know, I feel bad for Shorty. Well, Rey Mysterio said that he feels bad for Shorty G before because he's been talking about his height.
Your thoughts on that, Chris?
Congratulations to Shorty G and the New Day being the Cesaro, Mojo OReilly, and Shinsuke Nakamura.
You, Mikey?
Shorty G and his squad got the job done.
You.
That's good.
Finally, we have the main event, and surprise, surprise. Watch.
Yeah, let me say it, bro.
Go ahead.
Bayley and Sasha Banks versus Nikki Cross, or Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
There you go.
I would say Cross Bliss, but you know.
For what?
For the women's tag team championship match.
In this match, it would be going back and forth between these two teams. At one point, the dysfunction of Bayley trying to get the win at the expense of her friend Sasha Banks and vice versa. It would be a weird turn of event when Sasha Banks managed to get the drop on Nikki Cross and makes her tap out, if I'm correct. Or what was a pinfall?
Probably a pinfall.
Yeah. So, in which case, your new two-time, as well as the first ever women's tag team champions, are now two-time women's tag team champions, and Bayley two belts, you want to call it.
No, let's say she's
women's champion, Bayley and Sasha Banks.
No, listen, I don't know. Say it like this: she's the first woman to hold the women's Smackdown champion and the women's tag team belt.
Yep. Another reason why she's one of the first Grand Slam champions of the women's division. And they keep saying that too. Them two keep saying Grand Champ. Grand Slam. So what are your thoughts on that, T-Money? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, disappointing.
You, Chris?
Nightmare.
It's a nightmare. She says, all this weight. So heavy. What about you, Mikey?
Thick to my stomach.
Now this actually, because we're going to mention this on Thursday when we cover Monday Night Raw and NXT, but I got to say this. Since now they're able to go to any of the brands, of the three brands, Raw, NXT, and SmackDown, thanks to those title belts, do you think Sasha Banks will actually go for the Raw Women's Championship or the NXT Women's Championship?
I'm glad you...
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned it.
Go ahead.
The only way she can go for those titles, she has to lose the belts, bro. That's how he's going to do it.
I don't know, man.
Because that's what Vince McMahon said and Triple H said. Only way you could, she has to go for an NXT title, she has to lose the tag team belts.
What about Raw?
Same thing.
Yeah, I see that finger, Mikey. I see that finger. No.
Because that's what you think about. That's how that's how they did Charlotte Flair.
No. All right. While you're looking up 205 Live on the same date, June 5th, a shout out to our fellow brethren, the Heavens Monsters podcast members, Xavier Hill, Mike Henry, and Andre Mitchell. A link to their YouTube channels will be in the descriptions down below, as always. And a remaining shout out to Chris Petrie, T-Money, Renee, Farrell, and Delvin.
Oh, she's not. I'm glad. Here's the thing about Sasha Banks.
What?
She said she didn't seem to be impressed with her time on this week's Monday Night Raw. The SmackDown superstar posted on Twitter. She said the energy on Raw is not really for me.
Yep. Also, I got to mention this why we're doing this so late on Tuesday, following SmackDown and Monday Night Raw, is the fact that NXT TakeOver in your house is because I didn't have the storage space in my phone. I didn't realize I had all this stuff crammed in my phone. I had to make room. So I do apologize for being late on this. We will cover it in due time. Each and every episode. Right, boys?
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said, y'all, only way she can go for an NXT Sasha Banks go for an NXT title. She has to. Her and Bayley has to lose the tag team belts.
Cup of Joe. Like Randy Savage said, I got a cup of Joe. Where's your cup of Joe? You ain't got no cup of Joe.
I got beer white. Terrence Unity beer wisers.
No such thing.
This will I create one. If Stone Cold make his own beer, Terrence make his own beer.
It can't be Budweiser unless you're working with the company.
Oh, I can make I do Budweiser. I create my own beer.
It ain't Budweiser, I'll tell you that much. That's a company name.
I'll probably mix Budweiser with Miller Lite.
You drink?
Yeah.
That's just it. You one of the Heaven Monsters that drink.
Yeah.
Chris and Mikey don't, and Xavier, and neither do I.
Xavier told me he do.
He said he doesn't, but I guess he picked it up. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Xavier, mention in the comments down below. Do you drink, and what do you drink? Be like Brian, the YouTube gamer YouTuber Terrorizer. I've been saying, Xavier, what do you drink, and how do you drink it?
Renee drinks.
Oh, him I know. He drinks. $205 Live.
Well, yeah.
I said $205 Live.
No, you didn't. You said NXT.
I did?
Yes.
My bad. On June 5th. And in other news, what was going on social media again? Oh yeah, we have a new twisted version, in a sane asylum looking Tamina.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
So it is. She is on SmackDown, so we can mention that.
Oh, I got one about Matt Riddle.
Ooh, what about Matt Riddle?
He was approached by Booker T.
We saw that on WWE backstage.
Oh, did you hear what he said about?
Hey, go ahead.
He go, what is with this guy telling me I need to wear boots? Look, I understand you can get when you wrestling barefoot, you can injure your toe, or if you don't have a mouthpiece on, you can lose it too, which I had done before.
Yeah, Booker T is like, I got one thing to say: get yourself a pair of boots and work with it. He said.
Well,
I got one thing to say: get some boots, my friend.
Well, Matt Riddle, you're gonna have to change your attire soon. That's what he's gonna tell you.
He's coming to SmackDown soon.
They're gonna make him do it too, and I really nothing you can't do about it.
Yep. First things first, we have Oni Larkin going up against, and how you pronounce that, please?
Tahute
Miles?
Tahute Miles. Yeah.
Tahute Miles goes up against Oni Larkin after taking on Danny Burch and, if I'm correct, losing. Oh no, he had won with the tights. He had the tights last week. He tried to do the same thing with Oni Larkin, but Danny Burch called it as well as the referee, and then it would actually be accused of Oni Larkin grabbing the tights to get to win, but we didn't have a good angle or camera angle at the time, which is weird. You usually have everything. And the second match, I believe there was a second match.
Let me see.
Go ahead.
Oh,
I know they had 2 matches and they recapped the Cruiserweight.
Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Jack Gallagher.
And who won? Yeah. Isaiah Swerve Scott takes on Jack Gallagher and wins the match with Tony Nese jumping him from behind, and it becomes a 2-on-1. Well, no. Actually, after he won, he gets jumped by Tony Nese, and Jack Gallagher is up in his face saying, "You may have won the match, but it didn't work in your favor, did it? Did it? It didn't go your way. Welcome to the real world, boy. This ain't your house," he says. Then we have the promo, the entire match of Drake Maverick versus Phantasma for the Cruiserweight Championship Finals. We already know how that ended. Thanks to some Golden Mask luchadors who were trying to get their hands on Phantasma again after months ago acquiring Raul Mendoza and Jacqueline Wild. I'm getting memorized their names just by mentioning this because we have not seen them in a while. And Phantasma, they had eyes on along with Akira Tozawa, courtesy of the fact that Drake Maverick saved Phantasma. He didn't go so far as to say, "Hey, I'm going to let you catch your breath." Nope, super kick, and then gets him with a finisher, and boom. Pinfall becomes new Cruiserweight Championship Phantasma, and we're happy to see it ain't a sad story for Drake Maverick when Triple H comes and presents to him the brand new contract with WWE. Good on you, Drake Maverick. Your thoughts on that?
Don't watch it.
Your thoughts, Chris?
None.
Your thoughts, Mikey?
Wild. I mean, wild.
Alright, boys, let's end this. You like this video? Give it a thumbs up. You didn't? Give it a thumbs down. Hit that subscribe button. You like the content. Hit that notification bell for the next Heavens and Monsters podcast. We're going to cover NXT in your house. Here we go, and bye.